Welcome viewers. In this session, we are discussing about the job safety analysis. In this session, our objective is to provide you some knowledge that what are the queries you will made while studying or while analyzing the job from the safety point of view. There are various checklists that we will study today. Machine guarding, why machine guarding is important, we will discuss. So in short, we will say that this is the continuation of job safety analysis, and here we are more focusing about the practical application of job safety analysis. During the study for job safety, we have to certain things or certain topics which should be raised or certain inquiries should be raised. Suppose you have been appointed a person for conducting the job safety analysis and you are selecting a job. Suppose a job A. You will say that what are the materials on the shop floor. There may be the chemicals, there may be any fire material, fire hazardous material. So you have to consider all this. Then second point is whether lighting is adequate or not. If it is adequate, then okay. If it is not adequate, how you will make it adequate? Is there any emergency system of lighting in case of power failure? Third point is there any live electrical hazards at the job site? That means, is there any naked wire? Then what are the physical, biological or radiation hazards? Are we working on the repair of tools? What are the different equipment and machines? Is there any noise related to machine or which is disturbing the other workers? Then what is the procedure for completing that job? What is the process? How they are implementing? Then in the shop floor, is there any marking for the emergency exit? Is there any involvement of brakes? Are they in a proper conditions? Another important thing, suppose you are working on a moving vehicle, just like truck or motor or even machine. There is a quite possible that you are working on a automated guided vehicle or some material handling movement. Is their steering is working properly? Is their brake is working properly? Whether they have a proper horn system? Then how the operators are trained, especially those operators which are working on a high speed machine or the moving vehicles, those who are involved in the material handling. Another important point you have to consider and you have to raise this issue, whether we are providing protective equipment to employees. What are the other problems, health problems the employees has? It is quite possible that the employees have the headache, breathing problem, dizziness, or there may be the strong odor they are feeling which making them uncomfortable. How the ventilation is there? Is there any system to measure the oxygen inside the working place? Because we have to provide a proper atmosphere. If there is a depletion of oxygen, there is a quite possibility that will lead to deterioration or deteriorating effect on the health of the worker. Another important thing is that what are the prevention for the back or the wrist injuries, because they are very common in shop floor. Another important point is that if there is a fire or explosion, are the employees are trained, or what are the training which is required for training in case of fire or in case of explosion. Now, how you will make it? First point is divide the job, selection of job, then divide the job into small parts, involvement of employee, then checklist is important, that how you will make a checklist. The safety analysis checklist is to be filled up during the study. The checklist should be prepared by a competent person who understand the operation as well as regulation related to the safety in this particular domain. Now, how you will analyze? We says that we have to analyze the each step involved in a job. First thing is that it is the most important step in the safety analysis, and this analysis is to be done with the data and the details which are already captured. The data is related to material, employee action, sequence of operation, employee reaction time, multidisciplinary activities, arrangement of correct tool, dependency on other operation, multiple work in the same flow. You just understand, only reading will not provide you the skill which you should acquire from this particular topic. You have to see that how the workers are working, because there are so many workers are working in the same floor, how they are dependent on each other, because there must be some prerequisite and there some be postrequisite. So we have to understand how the one operation is depending on the other operation. One should ensure to record enough information to describe each job action, but one need not to make the breakdown in too detail. That means all the related information should be written, but it should not be in very detail, but no information should be left. Later go over the job steps with the employee. Presently we are working in the industry 4.0 or 4.0 with Internet of Things, which is extensively used for this data to collection activity. Another important point which you should keep in mind, not forget about the sensor and the smart camera. They can be used for the purpose, and the data is subsequently rearranged with the help of data mining, and the possibility of safety failure can be identified. Even the fatigue of employee may be a safety concern. You just see, with the help of artificial intelligence, with the help of data mining, we can analyze that if this worker is working for 8 hours, he gets fatigued after 6 hours. If he gets a glass of water or some type of a drink, he can reduce his fatigue and he can work at least 60% of his productive level. During job safety analysis, a major requirement is categorization, the criticality of danger, and accordingly safety critical level is to be identified. Suppose we are taking a job, we have to find out what are the different level from the point of criticality. The measures are to be taken based on the criticality level. The danger to the life of people, it is also called as catastrophe, is considered. the highest critical category, whereas danger to the very costly machine may be categorized in the next level because this hamper the operation. For example, if the worker is working for checking the time bomb, now it is very critical. It provides danger to the life. While in the second category, if due to any mishappening the machine gets hampered, it is a second level danger because it is not so important as the life of pupil, but on the same time it hampers the continuity in the operation. One thing you will also appreciate that criticality level depends on the case-to-case basis. In one case, I have given you the example of time bomb. Another example may be the telephone operator. So, criticality varies. To determine the criticality level, it is required to carry out the cause-effect analysis, which identify the impact of any error or deviation in the arrangement, the machine performance, operation or human activities. There is one fishbone diagram which we also call as cause and effect. That cause is the deviation of any operation or the performance or the process. Now, what will be the effect on the machine performance, on the performance of human? Another term which normally we get in the condition monitoring, that is MTBF, that is mean time between the failure. This is also a good analysis to find out that what is the mean time between the failure. This will determine the preventive measure. Now, we will take one example which is also given in your unit, that for grinding castings, how we will go for the different step. Just like first we have to reach into metal box to the right of the machine, grasp casting, carry to the wheel, push the casting into the wheel and grind off the burr. Place finished counting in the box to the left of the machine. You just see how we are sequencing. There is no confusion in the part which is going to be cast or which is going to be grind and which is already grinded. You will appreciate, and I will tell you, the grinding is the most critical and the dangerous. If the proper safety measures are not taken, it leads to the fatal injury. Hazard identification. There are various kinds of hazards which exist in the workplace depending upon the machine, depending upon the movement of worker, type of cloth which worker is wearing, working environment, they will cause the health hazards. Certain aspect you have to look are whether the job requires personal protective clothing and equipment or not. Just like, for example, in today's season or today month, the person or the worker who is working with a COVID patient, he needs to wear protective clothing just like PPT kit. Similarly, he has to take various other precautionary measures to save his or her life. Whether work positions, machinery, pits or holes and hazardous operations are adequately guarded or not, that is another important. And one most important thing if the machine is dangerous, there should be a proper marking system. At least 2 or 3 feet from the machine, we have to declare as a danger zone. Whether lockout procedures used for machinery deactivation are required or not. If the machine is to be deactivated, what is the procedure? Another point is whether special protection of eyes is required. For example, the person or the operator working with the gas welding or electric welding. To save our eyes from ultraviolet rays, we need a special protection of eyes. Whether job requires high voltage electric grounding protection? Yes, you have to see it. Whether the system automatically returns into safety condition into the gas in the case of partial breakdown or not. You have to understand that if there is a failure, either the system at least must return to its safe condition. Checking if depending on the workflow, whether the worker movement is rapid or not, frequent or not, whether there is a possibility of worker getting caught in between the moving parts or not. If the worker is moving and the machine is running, is there any chance that whether worker will be caught in between the machines? Whether there is a possibility of worker getting injured by reaching over moving machinery or parts, whether the worker at a time is in off balance position or not, if there is a possibility of dangerous positioning of the worker with respect to machine, the worker may be required to make movement that could lead or cause hands or foot injury or strain from lifting the hazards of repetitive motion. Worker may be struck by an object or lean against the strike a machine or part, just like overhead cranes. Checking whether there is a probability of worker falling from one level to another, just like in today's time also, in earlier times also, we have second level or the roofing system in the shop floor and the worker has to work there. Chance of injury to the worker from lifting or pulling the object or from carrying a heavy object. Whether there is a environmental hazard, dust, chemical, radiation or welding rays, heat or excessive noise, they will result in the deterioration of the performance of the operator and the quality of the job. Whether audio-visual warning signals is adequately arranged or not, you just go to any modern industry, you will find there is a audio-visual warning system and they will warn you from the danger zone. Now, what are the different examples? And if we again recall the grinding of casting, strike hand on the edge of metal box, wheel may burst during the grinding, there may be a strike on hand against the wheel, your sleeves of shirt may be caught, dust, abrasive grains and splinters are the common hazards which will come to your eyes if you will not take the proper precaution. Another important sub area is the machine safeguarding. When we talk about the grinding machine, there are several guarding systems and we call it as a machine safeguarding. Protection is required for any person working on or near a machine. A machine with its various components, each with a specific function and together performing a particular task, applies or utilizes the machine power which makes it dangerous. So remember, the person who is working on the machine is not only at the danger zone, the person who is working nearby is also in the danger zone. Machine has several components. So whether it is an electric component or mechanical power, it will make the machine dangerous. Much of the danger in a machine occurs generally at the point of operation, just like turning of the machine, drilling, and the operation may be cutting, operation may be shearing, operation may be punching, blanking, bending or drilling. All these operations are very dangerous from the point of view, and my idea is only you have to understand, you have to appreciate the risk involved in these operations. The hazards also involved during this process, and they will lead to the serious injuries or even death also. Machine safeguarding is a primary way to control the hazards. If you just go any machine shop, you will find there is a particular type of a guard which is called the safeguard, and it is advisable and a note is there, don't move your hand beyond this safeguard. Danger include when the machine are improperly used and when the operator do not comply with the applicable regulation and standard. You must have heard about the OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, requires that any machine part or function or process which may cause injury must be safeguarded. When the operation of a machine or accidental contact, it can injure the operator or others in the vicinity, the hazard must be controlled or eliminated with the help of the guard. All guards should be appropriate for the hazard involved and secured in place, constructed. And another important thing which I have seen, that there is a guard but the worker always remove that guard. It is very dangerous. It is imperative to employ the safeguard on machine so that operator do not suffer from the injuries. Another important thing is that it is a basic guideline for machine safeguarding that it should be in every machine for every function, every process that may cause injury. Any operation that may cause injury to the operator, it should be controlled and the worker should be trained also. There are various aspects which I have listed here. Who do you think are the two main entities to be held responsible for the safety of the worker? Well, the answer is worker himself and the employer. What are their responsibilities? You just think, you just find all these responsibilities of the worker, responsibilities of the employer in your unit. So friends, in today's session, we have analyzed, we have studied about the job safety analysis and the safeguarding. You will appreciate that both forms an integral part of any industry for the safety of the worker. For an employer, safety of the worker and the workplace is the topmost concern, and it should be addressed in the best possible way. Job safety in analysis we have studied encompasses of various factors, and proper study is required regarding the steps, regarding the analysis of hazards, which will give you a proper analysis for a particular job in terms of the job safety. Similarly, when we talk about the safeguarding, machine safeguarding provide a safe environment to the worker who are working in a risk zone. It can be done by making the control or by employing a proper safeguard, and proper inspection and training of the worker is indispensable. It should be there. Thank you.